My name is Brian J. Morrison. I've been an artist in Birmingham for the last 5 years. Originally from Belfast, moved to Birmingham 4 years ago. And my art practice has been varied. It's been a mixed collection of methods of making art and exploring different ways to try and work through my ideas, but primarily the thing that is a driving factor for me would be an interest in gender, an interest in the human body and how those two things come together. So whilst I might make work in lots of different ways, that's a kind of general key theme that would be running through most of my practice, which would be relating to kind of the physicality of the human body, and specifically thinking about how biology might affect gender norms or gender relations. So the work that I'm showing is a piece of work called Mesomorph Variant, and it's one of a series of works that I've made, and they're loosely based around a pseudo-scientific theory that was introduced by a man called William H. Sheldon in the 1950s, which explored the idea of various body shapes. Specifically, he was looking at male body shapes. And the mesomorph body shape is one which is a triangular shape, of which there are two variants within his psychological and sociological experiment. I was quite interested in the idea of the triangle shape as being something that is an idealized shape specifically for young men, the idea of broad shoulders and a thin waist, and this ideal, and why is that perhaps the case. And then the objects that I've made take reference from 1960s minimalism. I'm quite interested in how they were very much deliberately focusing on the idea of objecthood and this as being an object and not having any connection to anything else other than the object itself. So the work itself is a shiny, bronze-looking triangle, which is quite a labour-intensive thing to make. It requires months and months of sanding and polishing and painting over and over and over until you achieve this kind of gloss, almost mirror-like finish. And I quite like the idea of transforming what is pretty lowly material, which is MDF, which is what it's made out of, into this kind of seductive, shiny object. Yeah, being an artist in Birmingham is an interesting one. I've had experience in other cities working as an artist, specifically Belfast before we moved there. And Belfast is a very small art scene, very tight-knit community. And actually there's some parallels I see in Birmingham as well. I think that the art scene is probably much smaller than it should be in proportion to the size of the city, really. I think with Birmingham being such a big city, there should be more stuff happening. But I do start to see things starting to grow. I see lots of kind of people coming through from the art school and people starting to sort of set things up and do things on their own. So it's quite an exciting place to be at the minute. I think we are in a transitional state in Birmingham at the minute. I'm slightly apprehensive about what might happen in the future as regards to specifically the HS2 coming through, how that's going to affect Digbeth, where much of the kind of artistic activity is happening. So whilst it's an exciting time, I also have some apprehensions about the future.